Welcome back to the Better World podcast. Today is episode 2, Podcast with a Best Friend. This episode I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've been wanting to record it for years at this point, actually. And I just want to keep these podcasts simple and just talk about life. And so this first one is just talking about some time my best friend spent in Japan. It's a easy topic to start this second episode on. It gives us some content to talk about and allowed us to catch up after almost 2 years of him being in Japan. So without further ado, here's episode 2 of Better World Podcast with a Best Friend. Don't gotta be nothing serious, but
Here we are. Back in America.
Yeah, back in America. So, you just spent 2 years in Japan.
That's right.
Yeah?
In Osaka.
What was that all about?
Yeah, so it actually started years before I left. I heard about an opportunity to become a stunt man in this Jason Bourne stunt show that was happening out of Orlando. And one of my friends said, hey, there's an audition coming up. We should go to it. And I said, yeah, why not? I'd never done anything quite related to stunt work before. I've done athletics, but I went in with no real expectations. And I made it pretty far because you start with like a physical assessment. And then you get into coordination, like can you do these roles, and then they start doing fight training where you start off just hitting basic, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, throwing elbows, throwing knees, just forms. And then they cut people after the first physical assessment. They cut people after the coordination assessment. Yeah.
They're just like cut you and be like,
if you can't do a pull up,
Yeah.
they say, well, we can't hire you for this position, which requires you to hang from this bar for a minute and do pull up.
Adios.
Sorry, but you're not the right guy for the job. So they've cut people. They've gone through about 3 different rounds of cuts, and I've made it that far. And then they get to the point where they're like, all right, we're going to choreograph some fight scenes. And I'm doing it, but I have no experience. I mean, I have experience with rolling and exercise and basic movement, and I understand punches and kicks and throwing an elbow. And so, but I get to the choreographed fight scene, and it's a little difficult for me because instead of calling out, all right, you're going to throw a hook, they've given all of the moves numbers.
Oh.
Good night.
Night. And
Thank you.
so they've given the moves numbers, and so they're just calling out numbers. And I'm like, I don't have I don't know what move is connected to what
11,
number.
yeah.
And I would have done so much better if they would have just said, all right, we're going to throw a right cross and then a left upper hook, and then you're going to dodge, a body shot, and you're going to take a punch to the gut, and then the scene's over, But I struggled, and I didn't make it past that cut, but the big boss in charge of the entire like company running not only that Jason Bourne show, but a lot of different shows across the world. He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I feel like I recognize your name. Are you a water skier? I feel like I know some voiceards who are water skiers." And I said, "Oh yeah, I am actually." And he's like, "Well, I have a different job opportunity you might be interested in if you can water ski at a, decent, in a decent capacity." So I said, "Okay." And he said, there's a Water World show, and we've got a Water World show in Osaka. We've got one in Singapore, Beijing, and Hollywood. So we're always needing people who can water ski, and we can train you to do the rest of it. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. But at the time, I wasn't in a place where I was really capable of doing anything outside of Florida, and so I was like, that sounds really cool, but I'm not gonna be able to do it. And years later, I find myself.
What year was that roughly that you?
Oh, that would have been
first, like
in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So back in 2021, I have this audition for the Jason Bourne show. That doesn't work out because I don't have experience fighting. And then years go by, and this Water World opportunity pops back up in my mind. And I look into it on a whim, and I say, hey, I'm not gonna lose anything if I apply. So I do. And my girlfriend, Callie, she's like, well, I'll also try and find something. So she applies to Universal for all sorts of different roles, and then she's looking into teaching positions as well. Teaching English is always an option. Always an option if you're traveling to a different country. And I get accepted, and she still hasn't heard back. And so I'm like, well, do I go or not? Because I kind of have to give them an answer. And she says, just do it. We'll figure something out. And so I said yes and signed the contract. And before I knew it, I was flying out there. And she wasn't able to come out for probably half a year after that. But eventually she was able to get a job teaching English, and go out there. And I'll tell you, I had the water skiing experience, but that was it.
That was it.
And they obviously wanted me primarily for a different role that didn't have anything to do with water skiing. And I had to be learning how to do stand-up jet ski skills. And they were like, so do you have any experience on a stand-up jet ski? And I said, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've stood up on a jet ski before. And I did not realize at the time that standing up on a jet ski is not stand-up jet ski.
Right.
It is a sit-down jet ski that you're standing up on.
Yeah.
And I was dumb, and I said, oh yeah, I've done the stand-up jet skis. And then one of my friends is like, hey, I don't think you have done anything to do with stand-up jet skis. And I said, well, is it much different? And he said, yeah, it's like very different, and it's very hard. And I was like, oh no, I need to get myself onto a stand-up jet ski before I go out there and completely embarrass myself. And so before I went out, I made sure that I had at least tried to ride one stand-up jet ski. And I don't know if it made it better or worse, but I'm afraid realizing how hard it was before going out there honestly just made me that much more terrified.
Yeah.
But I get out there and they're super nice and they give me a stand-up jet ski to train on, and they're trying to train me in for 3 different roles. All
Christ.
at once, and I have a month to learn all 3 of them from zero.
Yeah.
I have no background in it. I have no experience in it. So, and one of them is the main role in the show. Like, I'm the lead performer. And that's the one that has to do the stand-up jet skiing. So they pretty quickly decide to drop one of the roles. And so they just have me performing the water skier, like smoker guy, bad guy role. And then they stick with the lead mariner role. And I'm working on figuring out how to survive on the stand-up jet ski. And it's not like I'm on a lake where I can go crazy and fail without any consequences. I'm in a small pool with pyro and metal
Glass.
barrels and
Fire.
spears and jumps and other people that I need to avoid, and very quickly I either figure it out or I kill someone or kill myself.
Now, there were like there was at least one person that like had come to do a role, that role or similar role, and they didn't really make it, right?
And so that was the year after. Fortunately, I mean, maybe unfortunately, because they would have taken some of the heat off. But they were really, really nice. They knew that I had.
So it's not an easy thing, obviously.
It was not. It was not easy, and it was not just the stand-up jet skiing that was the difficulty. It was learning all of the choreography. I'd never really act. I mean, I'm comfortable in front of people, but learning how to become a character,
animate.
Yes, especially in a foreign country where you're not speaking English. I mean, my character didn't really have lines other than grunts and yells when you're fighting and saying someone's name dramatically, So that was nice. I didn't have to learn all of that as well, but learning where the pyro is going to explode and where certain water effects are going to blast, and where other performers are going to be standing, and then choreographing stunts and fight sequences and doing it all while soaking wet and I came in and did the training in February, so it's freezing cold and it's snowing some days, and it's in and out of the water, and I didn't have a car the entire time I was out there, so biking to work, rain or shine, and then getting in the water, and then it's windy, and figuring out all of that, and then the stresses of being in a foreign country and having to set up a bank account and having to get a phone plan and doing that while not being able to communicate at all with the people at the bank and the people at the phone store. It's very difficult, and you learn to you learn patience, and you learn how to it humbles you, and you realize what it's like to be an outsider.
Foreigner, yeah.
And it's a good thing. I think everybody should do that. But yeah, I was doing the Waterworld show out in Japan, and I got through the first year, and then on the second year they decided we're gonna try and get you that third role. So I trained into another role, and that was the year that new guy tried to train in, and his name was Vincenzo, and I don't want to blast him, but there's enough Vincenzos out in the world. And he was a fine guy, but he was a little, I think he submitted some videos of other people doing things and tried to write it off as him.
Yeah.
And he sent in pictures that made him look a bit larger than he was, and he was a bit of a toothpick. So they were nice, even with all of that. But then he shows up and he's not really able to do a lot of the high demanding skills and stunts. And I mean, I struggled with that, and I was like, I have to be gracious, because I was that, maybe not to that extent, but with the stand-up jet ski, I was probably no better than he was. But they were really encouraging, and they were really encouraging with him as well. And we kind of turned him into a legend before he even got there, because with a name like Vincenzo, how can you not get people's attention? So anyway, he's still a legend.
Oh yeah.
And his name tag is still up on the on the board in the graveyard of name tags that no longer need to be used. But so I was out there for 2 years, and the second year, along with Vincenzo, my brother came out to join me, and he's still out there.
Which roles did he learn?
The same 3 roles, and he did not do all 3 his first year, but he did the water skier role and the jet skier role that they dropped for me my first year. So he didn't have to do the mariner role and the stand-up jet skiing his first year, which is nice, because he also had no experience with it, but he was able to train for the entire year, or at least half of the year, because it's hard to get training time. But now he's doing all 3 of those roles, and he's still out there, and he's made friends, and he might even stay a third year.
And did he start in February when you did, like, on your contract? So
yes.
He'll be out there till this next February at least?
Yeah, so it's usually a 13-month contract. Okay. And they give the incoming cast a month of overlap, so the old cast can help train the new cast.
It's not that long of a time.
No.
But it's enough to get involved.
Like, I ended up staying an extra month and a half past my contract for that reason, because they wanted to give them more of a training period. Yeah. So, and it's a great group of people that I worked with. The company was great. The manager, probably the best manager I've ever worked with. So patient, so encouraging, and just provides an environment where it's easy to challenge yourself, but also you feel safe and, like, appreciated enough to not feel the pressure that, like, if I don't get this right away, they're gonna drop me.
Right.
You know, like even with someone that they really should have dropped immediately, they gave him 2 months to try to prove himself, and you know, like
it was an encouraging atmosphere. Essentially.
And I made some good friends, and obviously not everyone's my cup of tea, and I'm not always the most sociable person, but it was great, and I wouldn't be surprised if I wind up out there again. But for now, I've missed America and the ability to talk to anyone I want to, whenever I want to, and go outside into a yard. I didn't see a yard. I mean, they do have a lot of parks. Public parks are everywhere. Even in the city, there's parks, there's temples, there's shrines. There's a lot of wonderful things. I loved Osaka, but it's different.
Yeah, it's definitely
different. The family, the street I live on is Grandpa John, Cal, right down, his sister down the road.
You see aunts and
families right
nephews.
Down the road. And it's nice to at least be around them for a while. And now setting up, my new home and getting to live in it for the first time. That was something I missed for sure. I don't enjoy living out of an apartment forever. I can do it for a while, but 2 years of living with rough. You can live with maybe a foot of counter space. And you're trying to cut up your vegetables and cut up your steak and cut up your make a salad.
And you like to cook often.
I do. I'd rather cook than go out to eat.
Microwave something up.
So it was a little. That was probably the hardest part. That was probably the hardest part of living out of an apartment for 2 years. It's just not having enough counter space to make food every day. It's just such a hassle. And I balance something, you have a couple inches of counter between the edge of the sink and the edge of the counter, and you try and balance your board on it, but then you forget, and you try and cut something, and then it just falls into the sink along with all of your vegetables or your entire steak. Oh, no. And if you didn't wash all your dishes, there goes your steak into the dirty bowl of cereal leftovers. Or it goes the other way onto the floor. And
that's not much better.
Best scenario, you save it with your feet. And you're eating foot steak. And I was tired of that. I've got lots more counter space here in my home. And cabinet space, and I've got rooms to do different activities in.
Yeah, just be at a real desk and you can write or study or read or whatever, a little more comfortable.
Room to waste on a grand piano that I'll never use. But
I thought that you might have got rid of that one. Is that the same one that was in your old house?
It is.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys might have got rid of it, but I was shocked to see it still here. That's you don't care for it much anymore.
The amount of work it took to get it out of that house into here. I don't
really care.
Could have just not done the work. And given the family who moved into the other house a nice gift.
They probably would have appreciated it.
I just don't play piano, and there it is. A wonderful piece of...
Joe used to.
Joe did, and I lived with Joe, and that was nice, but now nobody plays because Joe's no longer with us in this house. So that's something I appreciate being here, but I do miss the bathrooms in Japan.
Every single
the
one's
shower
so nice.
rooms The whole room is a shower.
Well, where do you mean though? Like shower rooms where?
So like
when you
even in
would go
my
to hotels
apartment,
okay, at your apartment even.
pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
In Japan, like the bathrooms everywhere are great,
Mm-hmm.
and I came back here and I was like,
You
I'm
noticed
gonna
that
need a
immediately.
bidet. I need to install a bidet in my toilet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not
Need
too ashamed to admit I've gone straight from the toilet to the shower a couple of times since being back.
Yeah.
It just don't feel right
Good.
to
Right.
poop and then not have the bidet.
Yeah. What about the showers though? Like even is
The
that
showers are
also
great,
something?
and yeah, I started to say like instead of, I mean, there are homes that do a good bathroom, but in Japan, every bathroom is a bathroom. It's not a restroom. It's not a toilet room.
Yeah,
they typically
that
have
makes
the
sense.
toilet room and then the bathroom, separate rooms. And the bathroom will often have a sink and then a tub and a shower, and often the entire room is a water room. So you can
get
fill up
everything.
everything in the room. You shut the door and it's sealed, and you don't have to worry about
That's so
the
nice,
ceiling or the
actually, yeah.
walls. Everything
That is a big
is water
difference. Come back to.
safe, and this and it's all ventilated, and you can just, it's so easy to clean, and it's wonderful, and you can be, you just take that shower hose and get everything. You clean everything, and they typically their secondary usage is as a drying room for laundry or whatnot. So you turn on the vent, and all of a sudden the whole room gets heated, and there's a breeze that comes through, and it's a dryer room.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
That's nice. Well, you'll definitely, when you do like remodeling to your bathroom one day, it'll be Japanese inspired.
And my my uncle, I think he had a property out in Colorado, and they were building that house right down the road from the house we were living in when we were there. I think Christy, the wife, was very interested in a specific bathroom, and he was excited about remodeling. He showed me what he was doing last time I was out there, which was quite a while ago. But if I'm remembering correctly, the shower area was very similar, where you could just shower. Yeah, the whole space was tiled.
Right.
But I don't think like in America it's a tile, and I would prefer a whole room that's tiled.
Yeah.
But like in Japan, a lot of it's just like plastic fiberglass.
That is.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's easy to clean. Tile,
Yeah.
you have to worry about the grout
Yeah.
and that. But
Just have one big tile. One big tile.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I miss that element of Japan, and you can do so much for relatively cheap, and everything's pretty close. I mean, it's a smaller country than America, so it's easier to explore all of Japan. And the public transportation
is great. Do you feel like
great.
you explored basically all of Japan, like all the big cities, or
No, I mean,
like 50% of Japan? Like, how do you feel after leaving? Like, how much you saw?
Yeah, I got up to Tokyo and not really past Tokyo as far as getting up north. And I got down to the lowest prefecture beside, like, Okinawa. Like, I didn't go to any of the islands, like the far islands. I went to a couple of islands. Very fun traveling. And I think I did the I want to go up north to Sapporo and Hokkaido, and there's really cool regions up north that I'd like to get to if I go again. But I went up to Neiba, Naeba, ski resort, which is about the same. What is it, latitude, longitude? I can't remember. It's like Tokyo. About this as far north as Tokyo, but west. So the west side. That's Tokyo's the east side, and that Neighbor's the west side, and they had a music festival there.
Is that the place that you considered us possibly going, but we only went to like Kyoto and?
No, but
that would have been too far away.
Yeah, that would have been really far. There was Akame.
Yeah,
was a place that I considered us going.
Yeah, maybe.
But then there's also Okayama.
Okayama.
Which is where Callie was living, and they have a beautiful garden, Karoku-en, one of the 3 legendary gardens of Japan. That was I loved visiting that. I went a handful of times. Yes, Akame 48 Waterfalls is maybe an hour north of where I was living in Osaka. I say north, probably not exactly north, but somewhat north of where I was. Yeah. And takes you into the mountain area, more rural, and there's a ninja village.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And there's a lot of there's sake brewing, and then you get out into the mountains and hike for hours, and it's beautiful. I mean, the name is 48 Waterfalls, Akame 48 Waterfalls. You just walk past. Wow. So many beautiful waterfalls, and there's a little information center at the beginning of the trail, and they have displays of all the different wildlife you might see. Not all of it, but they've got like a Gila monster, which you might find in the river, or they've got different frogs and snakes and fish, and it's a very cool start to the hike. You walk through, and they've got everything there, and then you can go out and see if you maybe find stuff out in nature as you're doing your walk. But that was another one of my. That was a good trip. And then when we went down south, we visited a famous samurai the home of a famous samurai. Can't remember his name. Something Moto.
It would be cool to watch a Japanese samurai competition, or one of those fighting competitions.
One of the guys I worked with, because I worked with some cool, athletic people. One of the guys I worked with, his name was Hideo. And he was a wushu world champion, the number one.
He didn't mess you up.
And I think wushu is all sorts of different weapons, bow staff and swords and
the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's
You don't want to mess with him.
The Bruce Lee of Japan.
Yeah, basically.
He's the
wushu.
Yes, he's a very cool guy.
Wow.
And he even looks kind of like Bruce Lee. And he's like in his 60s. And he did 35 pull-ups in his fitness. You know, because every year they'll have you do like a fitness assessment. And you got to do sprints, and you got to do pull-ups, and you got to do burpees and planks and whatnot. And, you know, in the midst of a fitness exam where you're not just doing pull-ups, he did 35 pull-ups.
Yeah.
You know, and then after that you got to do sprints, and then after that you got to, you know, so he, even trying to pace himself, he was doing more than I could do at 60-something years old. So he's a very impressive guy,
So you, because I was gonna ask, you didn't really do any like drama, or you didn't really play in plays in middle school or anything. So that,
I did some church plays. I was like tumbling monkey number 4. No speaking acts. I did have, but nothing serious. I had this one role when I was younger where I had to memorize this monologue, and I thought it was the most impressive thing.
I had to do one of those things too, and I felt good about it, but it was like, looking back now, you're like, a paragraph.
Yeah, it was a paragraph of something, and it was nonsense, but it was fun. And, I think most of my background, which prepared me for the performance aspect, was just athletics. And I do athletics in front of hundreds of people. And that's true. Just got comfortable being in front of people. And then I did also perform as a water skier in some water ski shows, and Legoland for a pirate show, and this silly things, like that. But
I only had a few like roles in productions that I ever did, but they were minor productions, or like minor roles for sure. But even though they were minor, they kind of felt they felt important to me, and so I remember liking doing them, like just performing. So I did. It is stupid, but like we did like a zombie musical. Like it was really. I don't even know who wrote that thing.
Well, they were up to something awesome.
Yeah, but anyways, like. And it was like 6th grade or something like that. And so most people don't take it that serious, but I was like zombie number 2.
The best one.
But you only had a few lines, but to me that was fun. And then I remember doing my freshman, this is also super cringy, like I was so bad too. I have the video. I don't know if I've showed you, but in 9th grade I did like breakdancing. Like a breakdancing set, and it was horrible. But the feeling of like performing and people liking it, so I don't know who, but I thought they liked. I enjoyed that performer aspect, and so this was your first time like as the lead role, Mariner. Like you kind of get that spotlight. So did you enjoy that, or I mean, I assume you did, but. That was your first time, right? I mean,
it's not very. It's not what motivates me. I didn't dislike it. By any means. I met some cool people through. Like some of the fans who came to the show came all the time. And I got to meet some really cool people through that, and. The fans in Japan were wonderful, very cool.
Yeah, so like there were people that would come basically every day, right?
Yeah, there were some, and then there would be people who were like your fan.
Yeah.
And then, and there were thousands of people there every day.
Cool.
Thousands. And so Yeah, I
there's
mean,
so many people.
I've gotten to the point where I just there's zero. It doesn't change for me if there's nobody in the crowd or if it's a full house. It doesn't affect me, and I don't really care. I love to watch the show. I like watching my teammates put on the show. So I'd come in, sometimes they do split days, and I'd come in before, or I'd stay a little bit after my shift, and I'd just stand in the back. I loved watching the audience's reaction.
Yeah.
Watching this. So I think more so than performing in the show, I just liked those moments where I got to see the people. You can see a perspective as a performer, but I enjoyed the perspective as a spectator even more so, knowing both sides. And I liked being on the spectator side more. And I liked the performance aspect because I got paid to do it.
That was and it is. There's an element of it being fun.
Yes, but the number one element is just I did it for a job.
Yeah,
and I needed money, and if I'm going to have to do something to make money, I'm gonna if I can do something fun and physical and active while I can, I'm gonna do that. Right. The second is I want to be doing something active. Yeah, and I love moving, and it helps me live a healthy lifestyle, because otherwise I can just it's so much.
It's hard to integrate. Fun. It's hard to integrate in a practical sense something that is that physical as your job is, that keeps you in really good shape.
And I don't enjoy going to the gym
physical, right?
Nearly as much as I enjoy putting on a show and water skiing and jet skiing and jumping and dodging.
Being around with other people and just interacting.
And choreographed fight scenes. So I just started jiu-jitsu the other day, and that is so much more fun to me than doing crunches for. Yeah, it is. Also, you can do crunches for an hour and bore yourself to death and not challenge your mind, or you can go do.
Try to crunch someone's skull.
You do jiu-jitsu and you're getting the same ab workout. You're getting the cardio. You're getting a full body exercise. It's social, and so I'd rather be doing. Real or I'd like to go out and garden. Or I know I like running too, but I'd rather be running through the mountains than running on the streets and down the sidewalk, and so when I lived in Montana and Colorado, and I loved just being able to go out and run in the mountains, in the forest. Nice. It's not as fun to do here, but I'd actually rather run here than run in Osaka.
It's such a concrete city there, right? Is that why?
It's also or
cold, or people don't do it.
Culturally, I'm not Japanese. Yeah. And in Japan,
social norms.
Well, here, it's not really. Nobody would think twice if you ran. If you're running, even running without your shirt on down the road. Right. It's just you're a jogger. It's very normal. But people will run. Right. But it's not I prefer to be running around with my shirt off. Right. And I don't like to do it in front of people, but it's much less of a thing here. Nobody really thinks
no one
twice
gives a second thought about it.
Right. No. Whereas there,
that's the sense I got, that if I had my shirt off, run down the sidewalk, everyone would think it's super socially not acceptable.
Right. And I want to respect the norms and the culture.
Yeah,
I'm
of
a
course.
guest
Yeah.
in their house, in their country, and I'm going to do things their way. And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate that. And there's so much about Japan that I like because they have different standards, they have different norms. And I think it should stay that way. But I also like Polk County and the trailer trash people that I live around, where I'll run around the trailer park with my shirt off, and there's a dozen little kids running around with their shirts off, riding their bikes in their underwear. You know, and the street I live in now is a little bit nicer. But also, it's just, there's so much family on this street. Yeah. I'm running past my family. I'm not running past strangers. And, you know, I'm getting to know the neighbors as well. And so I'll just, from here, I can just run down to my mom's house. And there's the lake, and there's a big field in the backyard, and I can just do sprint work. So Callie and I have been running down to my parents' house and doing sprint training up and down one of the hills in the side yard, just to, you know, and you can't, I mean, you could do that in Japan, but here it feels much like, it feels homey, it feels right. It feels right to do it here. Right. Whereas there, it's not exactly right. Yeah.
Going back to the performance aspect. So I remember when we did our middle school musical.
Okay.
It wasn't a ton of work, but we put in a little extra work after school, you know, like you would have to spend an hour and a half, three like 2 days a week. So, but whenever we did the production, we got to do like 4 shows, right? And so the first one's always like fun because you're like, okay, we did it, and people are happy. And then the second and third one are kind of just second, third. But that 4th show was like, you realize, well, I guess I'm kind of going a different thought. But that 4th show is fun, but also it feels like it's not the same excitement as the first show. Because after you do like, say like the 3rd show, you kind of just start to feel like it's repetition almost, rather than it's a brand new, like, fun thing. So, on the 4th show, though, it's special because it's, like, your last one. And so, but even at the 4th one, it feels, like, very repetition-y. And so, I would imagine your first show that you ever did as, like, say, Mariner, I would say it was probably pretty fun. But then you're doing these shows, like, literally 4 times a day a lot of times. At what point does it stop being like fun at all? Not at all, but like it stops being a fun show to go into like, this is just another like act that, you know, it's the same thing.
I never got to that point.
It never felt that way. It was always kind of like,
I would say the first one was
the worst.
Well, not the worst, for sure, not the worst. But one of them.
Keep going. I'm just gonna get butter.
See, water? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I
can hear you.
I sucked at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got on the stand-up jet ski, and I was like a baby deer. Trying to navigate the pattern, and I'm doing it with another guy chasing me on a different jet ski. And the first 2 months of shows, I did not feel confident in my skills.
Yeah.
And so they were quite stressful, actually.
So you're just trying to do better each time, you know?
Yes. And there, it's a long enough show doing complex enough moves and skills that you really can always be improving.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like something simple enough to where like you can perfect to this.
Especially on those jet skis.
Yeah, and that's another element. Like water is always different.
Different,
like,
yeah.
There's no way it's gonna be the same. It's never the same.
That's true.
And I was doing 3 rolls also, so
Yeah.
I wasn't doing the Mariner 4 times a day every day. I'd do it 4 times a day, one day, and then sometimes I'd only do it
True.
once a week.
Yeah.
And I'd be doing other rolls
Yeah.
the other days of the week. But, if I was just doing one of the simpler rolls and only that, like, a couple of the guys just did one roll, and they definitely were like, yeah, I'm ready to do another roll. And, I was doing some of the more involved rolls.
Yeah, you're always doing something, yeah.
So, like, obviously the Mariner is the most involved roll, so I'm from, and it's 2 rolls, really, because I'm Mac and Atoller at the beginning of the show, and then I'm the Mariner for the second half of the show, so I'm 2 characters, really, and then, so there's a little bit of that, and another one of the rolls was also a split roll. So I was a water skier, and then I changed my vest, and I come out as Chuck.
Yeah.
And I would drive this airboat out, and I'd be the deacon's right-hand man. And, it was very fun. And so, for me, I considered it a fun workout.
Nice.
Every time I was at work, I was doing it for exercise, and it was a very fun exercise. And you can, I at least was able to hop on the jet ski every day, and I could spend an hour on the jet ski every day and not get tired of it. Now, obviously, if I'm spending 10 hours on the jet ski every day, maybe I get, tired of it. But no, I was doing things which were very fun. Like most people would pay to be able to ride a stand-up jet ski.
Right.
And, it's like when those people who do eventually buy a jet ski get the chance, they're going to go out onto the lake every day they can and use it as much as they can all day. A weekend here, the next weekend they're back on the lake after work on a weekday if they can, and I felt the same way. Like, I would look forward to doing the show, and again, it was fun being bad at the beginning. Yeah. It was stressful. It wasn't fun at the beginning, but it was fun that I was bad at the beginning, because I got better and better, and I felt like I could actually play during my performances eventually. Now, and it took me about a half a year to get to the point where I felt like I could even relax, and then probably another half a year before I could start to play. But then you build your relationships with your coworkers, and in the middle of a show, you're
on the same page.
You're joking around. One of my good friends out there, Sam. We would be doing a knife fight as Mariner and Chuck, and he'd be swinging, and then he'd just make a fart noise. And I'd be trying not to laugh when when I've got that knife to his throat at the end, and then we get shot by a bazooka, and he says like 6'7" or something stupid like that. And he wouldn't have been the guy to say that, but there was a guy, he came and he just turned like. He was 20 when we started. He just turned 21.
He couldn't even drink,
Yeah, well, in Japan, I think anyway.
Yes.
He was a young one, and he would do brain rot stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Very funny. But so I actually I think I just continued to like it more and more the more I did it, and the last show was pretty fun. And I'd say, I'm not typically a super sentimental person. Just because I've gone through so many different changes and seasons of my life, and I've been in this place for a couple of years. I've made the transition so many times. I'm pretty much, I can do it without much emotion at this point. But it was somewhat emotional, thinking I may or may not ever see these people that I do enjoy, and there were a lot of really cool, like, almost all the Japanese cast that were there were really good people that I loved being around. Yeah. So I would say, as of now, my takeaway was the beginning was fun. It was a challenge. It was stressful, but then it just got better and better all the way through, and I haven't gotten tired. And there were people before, foreigners who spent 10 years in Japan on visas just doing the show, and it took them about a decade to get to the point where they were like, I guess I'll move on to the next thing now. But I think that was probably primarily because they're like, I'm ready to settle down with a family and meet someone, and I've got life and I've got responsibilities back in my country. So it's like there comes a point where you can only do it for so long. But the majority of the people out there were like, I'm staying as long as I can.
Yeah.
And I would like to go back out there. So, but one of the guys, Hideo, the guy I mentioned, the wushu master, he's been out there since day one. The day the show opened.
That's insane.
He's been doing it, the same role, for
the
entire 1990.
I think it's
so it's the 30th anniversary of I think it's the 25th anniversary of the Japan Park. Yeah. 25 years.
Since 2001.
Yes.
Basically.
Doing the same role, same show.
That's mind-blowing.
And he loves it. And he shows up every day, and he's the king of the show.
They need to give him something.
Well, he is so special, and they love him. Yeah.
Wow.
But he's a legend.
Yeah.
Hideo. And he's
never missed a day of work. No. Probably.
He's so
probably not
perfect. He's a perfect person. He's a legend, and he's such a cool guy too. But like, so straight laced, such a respectable person. It's so funny. If you ever say his name, he'll go, "Hi." So you say, "Hideo, hi," and he could be a half a mile away, and he'll hear you say Hideo, and he'll yell, "Hi!" He'll also...
That's awesome.
Every time you walk past him, if you are within his reach, he'll give you a fist bump, and he'll say, "Hush! Hush! 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 Hush!"
Every time. Every time
you're holding all of your costumes in a wet pile, and you're carrying your iPad and and it doesn't matter. He's gonna find your fist and he's gonna give you a hush. Yeah.
Wow. So interesting characters.
Yeah. Amazing. And then there's this guy Frankie, who's like probably 60 something. Been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day of his life. Like literally in between shows, he'll go out of the park,
Smoke a whole pack now.
smoke a pack, and then come back. He's one of the deacons, the main bad guys. He looks so. His skin's all like discolored, and he looks like he's gone through it. He's one of the baddest guys in all of Osaka. Like, he's a guy.
He gone through it.
And but just this past year, he trained into a new role.
Wow.
60-some-year-old guy.
Wow.
Now he's doing 2 roles.
It's crazy.
The deacon, one of the main,
Yeah.
the main
Yeah.
bad guy,
Yeah.
and then now Sage, who is the main good guy at the beginning of the show, and then the Mariner comes in and he's the actual like main hero.
Mm-hmm.
There's the leader of the Atollers, who is Sage. And he's typically an older guy, wiser type character. But now he's doing the main the main bad guy, Deacon, and then like the main good old guy, Sage.
Dang.
And he just like, he's doing stunts, he's doing fights. And,
60 something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his characters have lines all the way through the show. So yelling, using his voice, doing real acting, crowd work, and all that stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'd like to go back out someday. If not to work there again, at least to visit. Get to northern Japan someday.
Yeah.
But that was really cool that you were able to come out and
Yeah. Oh, super.
surprise me.
Yeah.
That was very, very cool.
Yeah. That was a trip for sure. Well, I can't think of much else Japan related. We can always do a part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be many parts to come.
Yes, I'm gonna get tired.
Yeah, it's been a long, productive evening.
But
Yeah.
we hit an hour, so
Nice 15-minute hour.
nice. Well,
And that's how it goes with our conversations.
yeah.
And it's a good thing.
Well,
from my perspective.
Oh, my phone was about to die. I'm glad, didn't it? All right. Well, I'll see you next time, I guess.
All right.
Peace.